So although the map we're covering today is no longer in the competitive map pool, it is still a part of the rank rotation. And seeing as you guys seem to really like the previous guide that I did for Theme Park, I thought what better map to cover next than the map that Theme Park replaced. Hello internet, my name is Nebulous. Let's dive in and take a look at a map guide for Bank. Bank is one of the few maps that's actually relatively attacker-sided, seeing the only bomb site with a higher than 50% win rate for the defense being the lockers and CCTV site in the basement, with the other three having an average of around 43% win rate for the defenders. So why is this? Why is Bank seemingly attacker-sided in what is generally a defender-sided meta? Well, for one, it's a map that by design allows for more flexibility on the attacking side, more than perhaps other maps in the pool might do. Once you move away from the basement bomb site, a lot of the map is generally comprised of huge long corridors, long lines of sight, a massive lobby with 1,000,001 windows to completely cut off any and all rotation through like a third of the map, all of which make it more difficult for the defenders to apply their utility heavy meta that we see so commonly. Combine that with the fact that Bank isn't a particularly execute heavy map in the same way that maps like Clubhouse or Villa are, and you can quickly start to see why Bank is somewhat attacker favored. Anyway, let's jump into the actual bomb sites themselves. For our first site, let's take a look at the only defender-sided bomb site, and heavily defender-sided at that, the lockers and CCTV room in the basement. So why, of all 4 sites on this map, is it defender-sided? Well, mainly because of the lack of verticality and pressure that attackers can apply to the areas of the site that the defenders might need in order to, well, defend. As a general lineup, you'll probably be bringing an Echo or a Maestro depending on preference, a Jaeger, a Smoke to be able to stall out the final 30 to 40 seconds of the round for the attackers. Then your final 2 spaces for your team can be pretty varied depending on the style of players on your team, the operator bans for the map, and so on. For example, if a Maverick is banned, running a Cade can be super useful. Thatcher will have to use 2 EMPs on the hatches, making him less potent elsewhere for clearing ADSs or clearing blue stairs, for example. Likewise, if Thatcher is banned, you can run an Ella with an FO12 on blue stairs with a couple of ADSs and a deployable shield, and you can play that angle really aggressively at the top of those stairs because they can't Thatcher away the ADSs and they have to use all of their flashbangs and things to clear your utility. So reinforcements wise, generally your Smoke will be sat playing red or red hallway, so it's a good idea to reinforce at least one wall in there. Your Echo or Maestro will be sat in garage, holding that long angle through to deny the CCTV plant. And then regardless of your lineup, this bomb site is pretty much always defended horizontally through into server and potentially the blue stairs, as I mentioned if you have an Ella or something like that. Reinforcements wise, other than the 2 hatches on the backside or the elevator and teller's desk, the 2 hatches in open area and the hatch and server, you've got 5 reinforcements that you can play with to customize the sites however you want. Next up, let's move upstairs and talk about both of the first floor bomb sites together, the open area kitchen and the tellers and archives. The reason for covering both of these together is because both of these sites play out largely in a similar fashion. Both sites require some form of control over the lower elevator hall, open area, and archives room. The reasoning behind this is because I personally don't find it useful to try and roam vertically on Bank. I know some people do and can, and some teams do, but in my experience, it's just too hard to roam top floor, as you can be easily flushed out by any competent attackers pushing through heaven and then killed by players playing on the lobby windows or in lobby at all, and roaming in the basement just isn't super useful as there's no destructible floor for you to utilize. So because you're not roaming vertically, you need to spread out horizontally. The lineup you bring for both these bomb sites is relatively flexible. As long as you bring the default utility, some form of shotgun to open up rotations and lines of sight, a Jaeger is always valuable. Primarily, your lineup should focus on being able to prevent the attackers from gathering intel, as well as allowing your team to gather intel on the attackers. So operators like Mute, Mozzie, Valkyrie, Echo, Pulse, all of these are super good ops for both of these bomb sites. Now to get specific, when defending Teller's archives, you should ideally extend out into open area through the mini office and the soft wall of Tellers connecting to the elevator hallway, and your focus should be on holding angles deep into the bomb site through these soft walls, as most teams will probably focus on gaining top control of CEO and top floor and applying vertical pressure down onto site. This is why you set up to hold the bomb sites from outside. Likewise for open area and kitchen, you'll want to focus on holding the elevator hall and not necessarily holding onto Tellers and archives, but more to deny the attackers from taking the control, if that makes sense. The only difference for open area is that you'll want to invest some reinforcements and utility into kitchen as well instead of the teller's room. Reinforcements wise for both sites, you'll want to make sure you reinforce at least janitor's hatch and the hatch outside of stock that goes down into the middle of open area, as this should allow you to play relatively safe within open area for quite a while. When defending tellers and archives as mentioned, you'll want to open up lines of sight between the bomb sites obviously, but you'll also want to open a rotation through that triple wall of archives into the mini office as I mentioned, as well as some lines of sight through the soft wall of tellers into the hallway. Then when you're defending open area, you'll want to swap some reinforcements from tellers. Then when you're defending open area, you'll want to swap some reinforcements from tellers and the small office into the outer kitchen walls connecting to the box stairs or server stairs or however you call them. Lastly, as Drake once said, we started from the bottom, now we're here. So let's talk about CEO. There's really two primary ways of attacking this bomb site. Attackers either push for control of heaven and open the two double walls of CEO to plant by the desk, or they play in the west and ATM windows and they push through lobby up the gold stairs. In my experience, the former of the two is a far more common attack, but regardless, the defense lineup and position for the defenders remains relatively similar. As far as the lineup goes, information gathering is absolutely essential here. Valkyrie, Echo, Maestro, Pulse. Operators like this are crucial to defending a CEO bomb site. As well, most teams might try and play wall denial ops like a bandit or a Cade for the CEO walls, but in my opinion it's far better to bring an operator with impacts like a Legion or a Castle to impact trick the CEO walls, even if a Thatcher's banned. Attackers can pretty safely clear the utility on those walls with a Maverick or just from the outside on the roof or the windows. It's pretty simple. The areas that are crucial to hold for this bomb site, however, are control of Janitor's Closet, as well as both the highway or the long corridor, as well as Banana and the top of Gold Stairs by the elevators. Keeping control of these key points can really hamper the attackers and prevent them from being able to fully surround the bomb site. Finally, operator-wise, you are relatively flexible with this site, but you want to keep your focus on information gathering. As mentioned, operators like Valk or Pulse or people with nitro cells are generally a really good idea to play on this top floor bomb site, as you can pretty safely play within archives and tellers, and then get nitro cells off on the people that are standing in heaven or the hard breaches trying to open the CEO walls. And of course, as a final note, avoid getting domed from parking garage as much as possible. This is why a castle's pretty useful here. Anyway, that about wraps up today's video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. If you have, make sure you hit that like rating down below and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, if you fancy, feel free to follow on all the socials and join the Discord full of awesome people. We're growing pretty steadily over there and there's some pretty cool people like yourselves. Links for everything are in the description down below, and as always, have a good day.
Reloading. What's a shock drone? Deployed.
That's wine, careful wine. Be advised, Op 4 has located a bomb.
Mycket död.
Piano, red hatch, red stairs, and cocktail window.
One friendly operator remaining.
Nice.
Op 4 has located a bomb. You know what to do. Op 4 has located a bomb. You know what to do.
C4 Valkyrie.
1 on 4 remaining.
That's only one master bedroom.
Close.
Master bedroom, now. Don't spot. Picking you, Valkyrie.
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Door side. He's going to go in. Peeking. Bedroom. Sorry, bathroom.
1 friendly remaining.
Just
Time expires in 10 seconds.
Astronomy. Side
A.
No more
Not
B.
B, no.
5 seconds to go.
He's gonna plant on
Rush
B.
him.
Good job.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.